in the last class we have seen the usages of overridden method. Now we will see the sample example. Okay, so for this let us see this sample example. I will give one example. uh, what is override? Suppose if you are having a vehicle, then you are going speed according to your mode, right? Yes. So according to your mode, you can go fast or you can go slow, right? So in the same sense, overridden methods are also very important in dynamic dispatch methods. It consists of several methods. Among the several methods, it has to supposed to override the old method. And the best part of this overridden method is in your software field upgradation. Whenever you are updating your mobiles, then the old version of a method will be override with new version of the methods. So hence your old method is exist, among that the new method will work. Got it? So this is the best example of a runtime polymorphism. Here a sample as a sample runtime polymorphism. Okay, class figure is exist. Class figure, in this I am taking two variables. What is the two variables? dim1, dim2 as double variables. Now I am defining the constructor. Please observe, it is constructor. So figure constructor, for related to these variables we are passing the two parameters double a comma double b. So I'm storing a, dim2 I'm storing b. Here the constructor ends, and one more method I'm defining in this class figure. Okay, double area. So in this double area you are displaying one output. Area of a figure is undefined. Here the figure is exist, but we do not know what is the formula for calculating the figure, hence I am defining it as an undefined. Whoever it is calling, it will return as an figure is undefined. So for that sake we are taking it as a return statement. Here the method ends and here the class ends. Now I'm taking another class rectangle extends figure. Extends figure means it is inheriting the features of figures. So whenever it is inheriting the features, if it consists of a constructor, we have to suppose to construct the constructor. Okay, so what is the name of this class? Rectangle. In the rectangle also I'm specifying a constructor method. In this constructor method I'm taking only the two parameters, because we have not specified any variable here. Okay, and you are seeing here the super method. Then what is the super method? To initialize the base class constructor. To initialize the base class constructor through from subclass. This is a subclass, right? So if I want to initialize the base class constructor, that is this one, then we have to suppose to use super method in subclasses. Okay, so also if you observe here, it consists of double area, and in rectangle class also consists of a double area method. So I am displaying one output statement inside area of a rectangle. As we know, what is the formula of area of a rectangle? Area of a rectangle formula is length into breadth. Whoever it is calling, then this area will returns length into breadth, but this method is overriding in base class method. Okay, here the double area is there, here the double area is there, hence this method overrides, means it is hiding. This method never executes if you call through from this object. Got it? Yes. And now afterwards the class rectangle ends. I'm taking one more class. So what is the name of the class? Class triangle extends figure. Which class it is inheriting? Figure class. If it is inheriting the figure class, it is having constructor, so hence we have to define the constructor for triangle class also and supply the two parameters. We are not defining any variables, we are taking these two parameters. Then what is the area of a triangle? Half into length into breadth. Okay, so as we know, we are coming here. So hence we have defined the constructor in triangle. We have to suppose to use super method. If you use this super method, the base class constructor is automatically initialized. Okay, and now in triangle also we are having area method. Okay, so in the area method, this area method overrides the area method in base class. Got it? Now inside the area of a triangle, we are returning off into length into breadth. So if you observe here, dim1 into dim2 by 2, that is off into length into breadth. Okay, so that is the formula of area of a triangle. Here the class triangle ends. Now we are starting the class find areas. Now what is the class find areas? We're creating the main method. In the main method we are creating figure f is equal to new figure of 10 comma 10. Okay, so let us see figure f is equal to new figure of 10 comma 10. Now we are creating the object for the figure class. Whatever the constructor is used, what is the constructor? It is a special method which is automatically initialized whenever an object is created. So in figure class constructor is exist, that constructor will automatically initialize to double a comma double b value with 10 comma 10. And rectangle R, it consists of a constructor 9 comma 5 is replaced with figure constructor. And triangle T, you are creating the object and you are supplying the parameters, then triangle constructor is initialized. Okay, afterwards what you are now doing, now for the figure class you are declaring an object, you are not creating. Okay, please observe here, what is this statement called? You are declaring the object. Okay, so after the declaring the object, then you are referring that object of rectangle class. You have declared the object but you have not created. This variable will points rectangle object. Okay, figure reference object will pop variable points rectangle object. Okay, so hence it is acceptable. Now we are displaying the area of rectangle, figure ref dot area, which it is pointing rectangle object. So what is the formula of rectangle? Length into breadth, that is 9 into 5. Area we have calculated, right? The base class method area will be overridden with rectangle area method, then 9 into 5, it is 45, it will returns. Now this declared variable is pointing to the object of triangle. Now I am calculating the figure reference dot area. Okay, this declared variable of a figure class means you have declared the object but you have not created. This variable will points the object of triangle. Okay, so through from this I can access the method of triangle. Okay, so I can access the area means them accessing the triangle area method, and this double area method is overrides figure method. Okay, so now it will display figure area, that is off into length into breadth 10 comma 8, 10 into 8 by 2, that is 40. So output is 40. Once again I am taking figure reference variable, now it points to the figure. So it is also possible if it is a calling the area value, it is a undefined, right? So it will returns the value as area of figure is undefined. So here you are seeing the output. Area is 45, rectangle length into breadth 9 into 5, area of a triangle 40. If area of a figure, if you called even you have supplied this value, what is the value? 10 comma 10, but it is not having any calculation part, hence whatever the output you have specified it will return, and the area is returning value as 0. Okay, so likewise this program will execute. And next our topic is using final. This is also very important question. In the last class we have learned about the finalize method. What is the usage of finalize method? It is acting as a destructor, right? So if you are using final keyword, then what happens? This final keyword is having 3 uses. How many uses are having final keyword? It consists of 3 uses. Okay, so what is that? First, it can be create the equivalent of named constant. So means it is, if you declared any variable with final keyword, then it is acting as a constant. If you declared the class as a final, then you are unable to inherit. Okay, the other 2 uses here mentioning already. The other 2 uses of a final apply to inheritance, both are examined here. Okay, so it is acting as a constant variable, and it is also acting as a constant in your inheritance. Let us see what is the first topic: using final to prevent overriding. Suppose if you declare the class or a method, if you declare a class or a method in a class as a final, then you are unable to override that method. Okay, so hence that is the topic, using final to prevent overriding. So that is the concept here specifying here. Method declared final cannot be overridden. To understand the concept better, here having simple example. What is the example? Class A. Let us see class A. In the class A, we are having the method called void meth. Okay, it is a written type, it is the name of the method, but before that I am using this keyword final. Then you are unable to override this method because it is a constant, because it is a constant. This is a final method. Okay, so here the method ends and here the class A ends. Now I am writing the class B extends A. Okay, class B extends means you are inheriting A. Which class you are inheriting? Class A. Now it is also consisting of a void math, but if you try to access this method, if you want to execute the method, then it will give an illegal. Why? Because it cannot override this method. Why? Because this method has been declared as a final. Okay, so that is why you are seeing the quote in comment line, error can't override. This is an illegal. That is why we are displaying the output as illegal. Got it? And hence it is the same thing here. Explains this will gives as a compile time errors. And now final prevents inheritance. Suppose if you want to prevent inheritance also, if you're not supposed to give the inheritance, then if you declare the class as a final, if you declare the class as a final, you are unable to inherit that class. Okay, for example, declaring a class finally implicit declares all of its method as final too. If you declare the class as a final, then automatically whatever the variables, whatever the methods you are specifying in the class is acting as in a final. It never changes, hence you are unable to inherit that concept. Okay, and one more thing here, this question is also one of a very important. Here another declaration class is exist, another keyword is abstract, we will learn in shortly. Okay, that is also very important topic, since abstract is incomplete by itself and relies upon its subclasses to provide complete implementation. Now till now we are seeing, if I declare the class as a final, what happens? You are unable to inherit. Suppose if I want to make compulsory override, if I want to make the class inherit, if I want to make the class compulsory method compulsory override, then what I have to supposed to do? Okay, so we will learn that concept is called as abstract. Okay, now you're seeing here a sample example, final class A. So here the final class A exists. It consists of a body, methods, and whatever the implementation part, whatever the code you are writing, that become an implementation code. Okay, that implementation code is acting as a final. Okay, now I'm writing class B extends A. It gives an error. Not now. Whenever you are compiling, at the compile time you are getting an error because the class A as defined as final, which is constant, which never changes. Got it? So likewise it will evaluate. So if you try to execute a final class, then it will give as an error. Okay, so now we are moving to the another concept, abstract classes, abstract methods and abstract classes. Okay, so sometimes if you want to override the methods, okay, if you want to must override the methods, then in your class you should be defined abstract method in the subclasses. Okay, in subclasses you have to supposed to define abstract keyword for a method. In this way, making overriding compulsory. If you make a method as an abstract, then you can override that method. Okay, this is done using the modifier keyword abstract in the method definition. Then how to specify in the method definition or in the class definition. Okay, while defining the class, if you make it as an abstract, then it will be compulsorily override. For example, you are seeing here syntax abstract class shape. What is the name of the class? Shape. Here the class is a keyword, and before that I'm specifying the keyword abstract, then this class is compulsorily override. And in the class also you can specify the method as, for example, here void draw method is there. This method is also I'm treating as an abstract. If you made it as an abstract, compulsorily it overrides. Okay, while abstract classes to instantiate objects directly, we have to notify some restrictions. Let us see what are those. Okay, we cannot use abstract class. Here the first points: we cannot use abstract class to instantiate object directly. For example, that means if you are using the abstract class, abstract methods, you have to supposed to access this class by creating the object. But if you specify any class as an abstract, you are unable to create the object like this. If you create the object like this, it will be treated as an illegal. Okay, the abstract method of abstract class must be defined in its subclass. Whatever the methods and class also specified in your subclasses. Okay, if you specified in a parent class, then you also specified in a subclass. In subclass you can access through it. Okay, we cannot what is the third point? We cannot declare abstract constructor or abstract static method. So we are not access, we cannot declare abstract constructor. In the abstract we do not have any constructor. In the abstract we are not supposed to use any static method. So question will ask, explain the differentiate between abstract and static. Okay, that is the question for 6 marks. 6 marks compulsory question is there. For the 6 marks, another compulsory question is differentiate between finalize and finally. Okay, this question will ask, to understand this concept better, let us see this sample program. What is the sample program here? I'm declaring the class A. How I'm defining? By using the abstract keyword. In this I'm using the method. What is the method I'm using? Call me. How I have defined that call me method? As a return type as a void, and it is also abstract. If you made it as an abstract, it will be compulsory override by the subclass. Got it? And here one more method I am defining in the class A, that is void call me to. Void call me to. Here it is displaying one value, that is this is a concrete method. In this it will ends here. Okay, now I am writing another class extends class A. Okay, class B extends A. It means the class B is inheriting the features of A. It means call me method is there. Here also call me method is there. So this call me method overrides in the base class method. Okay, B is implementation of calls me. We have placed, and this method will be overridden with this method. Okay, suppose if I made it as a final, it is not possible. Okay, now here the class B method ends and class B ends. I'm writing one more class in the, what is the name of the class? Abstract demo. In the abstract demo I'm taking the main method. Public static void main string args is a main method. For this I'm creating the object. For which class I'm creating the object? For the class B. Okay, B dot call me. Then what happens? This method will override the base class method. So hence B's implementation of call me you are getting B dot call me to. So where does the call me to is exist? In your base class, right? This will be executed. This is concrete method. Okay, likewise you can override. If you want to override the method compulsorily, then base class methods as well as base class can be declared within a abstract key. Okay, yes. And next our concept is one more example is exist. Last example only, figure, rectangle and a triangle. We are using this program. Once again, let me check. I'm defining the class figure with abstract, and here the method variable declaration, and here it is the constructor. After the area method is defining as an abstract. I'm not declaring the constructor as a abstract. Okay, it is not possible. That is why we are not touching the constructor, and we are touching only the method. What is the name of the method? Area. That area is the return type is double, and it has been defined as abstract. Okay, now here the class figure ends. I'm taking class rectangle extends figure. It is inheriting the feature. Here the constructor is there because of a base class constructor. By using the super method, I'm supplying the arguments to the base class constructor. Here also double area method is there. Here I declared it as an abstract, so it will be override. So as we know what is the area of a rectangle, we have to suppose to implement that code here. So inside area of a rectangle, it is returning dim1 into dim2, that is length into breadth. Whoever calling this area method, it will return the value. Okay, now we are taking the class triangle extends figure. Okay, I'm taking the class triangle extends figure. So through from this you can access. Okay, now triangle double a comma double b, it is also constructor. Through from the constructor, base class constructor is initialized. Now I'm coming here, the method double area is exist, it is also exist in your base class. In for the double area of a triangle, as we know, half into length into breadth, we are implementing that code. Okay, and now class abstract areas, here the main method is exist. Now please observe here, for the figure class f, for the figure class you're creating the object is illegal now. Why? For the abstract classes you can't directly create an object, so hence it is an illegal. That is why we have placed in comment line. For the rectangle class you are creating the object. For the triangle class you are creating the object and you are supplying the values. Through from the values subclasses, base class constructor is initialized. Okay, through from subclass, base class constructor will initialize. Okay, so next for the figure class I'm declaring the object. I'm not created, please observe here. This I'm taking figure reference as a variable. I'm declaring the object. Okay, this declared object is pointing to the rectangle object. Where I'm plotting is equal to r means it will points rectangle object. Whatever the rectangle object methods exist, I can access through this object. Okay, it is declared, not created. So through this variable I can access the rectangle object. Figure reference area means it will be calculated 9 into 5. Here it is processed double area dim1 and dim2. The dim1 and dim2 is 9 into 5, it is 45. It will returns value directly, area is 45. Now I'm using the same reference variable. That reference variable is assigned as an object of triangle. Okay, if you assign the triangle object, then you are accessing the triangle methods. So then what is the method I am calling? Figure reference dot area. Figure reference dot area means it will call triangle method, that is half into length into breadth. So 40, 10 into 8 by 2, that is 40. 40 will be displayed. Clear? So this is your program related to your abstract methods and classes. Now our next concept is object classes. Is it finish? Okay, let me check some of a program we'll see. We will execute for your better understanding purpose. Before that, let me see. Our next concept is object class. This question is also very important. Okay, already we have learned in your operating system, right? What is the life cycle of a process? What is the process? Explain with example. explain with neat diagram. As we have seen, process creation, right? So let us see this object class. Java defines one special class called object, that it is an implicit superclass of all other classes. It is an implicit of all other classes. In other words, all other classes are subclasses of an object. Whatever the classes and subclasses you are using, it becomes a subclasses of a object class. Okay, till now we are creating the classes. All the classes is the subclasses of object. Okay, because Java is truly object oriented programming language. Whatever the class you are specifying, that class is a subclass of an object. Okay, and this means that reference variable of a object can refer object of any other class. So whatever the object you are creating, whatever the reference you are creating, you can access any class. You can access any class. Got it? Since if you are using the array classes of an object, then array of classes of an object is also becomes a subclasses of object. Let us see some of the methods objects are using. We have noted here. We will see those objects. Okay, let us see first method, that is object clone. What is object clone? Create a new object that is the same as object being cloned. Cloning means making the duplication, right? Making the duplication. If I want to create the same to same copy, then I am using the cloning method. Okay, if you use the clone method, a new version of you I can also create it. It is also possible. Don't think it is not possible. It is possible. Okay, it is possible in the sense of a software. Now the growth in the technology, we can create our own clone also. Okay, so that is also possible. Next method is boolean equals of object. Next our concept is boolean equals of object. It determines whether one object is equal to another. It compares whether the two object is the same or not. If you want to compare the two object of a same, then you are using this method. And next one is a void finalize method. Already we are familiar. If you are using void finalize, it is acting as a destructor. As we know what is a constructor, after the constructor we have to supposed to face this void finalize method. It destroys the object memory space, unused objects. Okay, right. And next one is class question mark within a brackets and get class. Obtain the class of an object at runtime. You can get the class at the runtime by using this method. Okay, you can access. Next one is int hashcode method. Returns the hashcode associated with invoking object. Here the hashcode means just like as an setting up passwords, right? You are setting the password to your screens, your mobiles, right? You are taking the lock patterns. If you don't want the lock patterns, then what you are choosing some numbering coding system. If you don't want, if you are encoded your smartphone with satellite coding programs, automatically it will set a default passcodes. That passcodes are algorithm programs which is defined in this hashcode methods. Okay, next one is void notify method. Please observe here, this is very important. Resumes execution of a thread waiting on the invoking object. What do you mean by a thread? Thread is a lightweight process. Okay, what is a thread? Thread is a lightweight process. So if you stop one process, if you want to start, then you have to supposed to call void notify method. Okay, if you call the void notify method, the stopped thread will execute. And next one is void notify method. Notify all. If you use the notify all method, whatever the threads, whatever the process has stopped, that all the process gets started. Okay, and next is the string to string off. String to string off. Then by using this method, you are converting, you are returning that string that describes the object. Please observe, it is nothing but a conversion. You are converting any class into a string, or any data type into a string, or any method into a string. Okay, and next some of the methods are exist. What is this? Wide method, wide wait method, wide wait of long milliseconds, wide wait of long milliseconds comma int nanoseconds. These are the different versions of wide wait method. So wait method means you are temporarily holding, stopping, right? Waits another thread of execution. Here for example long milliseconds means whatever the time you are specified, till that time it stops, just like as in a traffic police. So traffic police holds you when you are riding on the bike in a traffic areas, right? So how long he holds, you have to supposed to wait, right? That is a long millisecond. The long millisecond and int nanosecond is there. You can specify the exact time also by specifying the long time as well as short time. So this is the version of wide wait notify all. So this question has also asked for one of our question paper. You just go through that paper also. The method get class notify all and wait are declared as final. So whatever classes we are using, that classes are get class method, notify all. Notify means it starts whatever the waiting process, whatever the waiting thread is holding, then we are starting, right? We are resuming. And notify all means we are resuming all the waiting process and threads. Here process means threads. And wait methods, these wait methods are supposed to declare as an finals. You can override the others also, you can override all these others. However, notice two methods now equals and two string. So we should have to notice two methods equals method. Whatever the equals method will do, it compares two methods are equal or not. And two string method, it checks whether it is a string or not. Okay, the equal method compares two object, it returns true if the objects are equivalent and false otherwise. The two string method returns a string that contains a description of the object on which it is called. So this method returns the string, means you are understanding based on whatever the description you are doing. That's it. This is the end of chapter 9. Here the unit 2 ends. Let me explain the execution of some programs we have missed here. Let me take these sample programs for your understanding purpose. Okay, let me take here. I think it has already explained, I think so. Dynamic dispatch, right? Isn't it? Overriding. Overriding we have explained, right? If you want once again, let me to explain. No. Oh, let me start with the dynamic dispatch. I will copy this program only for your understanding purpose only. Already I explained, and I'm taking this run notepad, run notepad. I'm pasting, and I'm coming here PowerPoint. Dispatch. I'm copying, I'm pasting, and I'm copying. Okay, already we have explained this dynamic dispatch. Just for your understanding purpose, I'm copied and paste. Okay, here the class A call me method. Here the class A ends class B extends B. It is overriding. Okay, here class A extends class A. It is also overrides class dispatch. How to save this class? By using the dispatch method. Why? Because it consists of a main method. Now I'm going and I'm saving. See what I have to ensure? I have to suppose to ensure that I am in right directory. Whether it is right directory, Whether it is right directory, please observe here. It is not right directory, right? So we have to pick right directory. Okay. Yes, what is the right directory? I'm opening C drive and I'm ensuring that JDK folder, in the JDK folder, bin folder is exist. Okay. I'm double clicking and I'm coming here and I'm saving. What is the name of the class? Right. Let me reduce the size. Otherwise, we are also getting the confusion. Let me paste dispatch.java. Okay. Let you check here. It is dispatch.java. Okay. I'm saving. Now let me take my command prompt cmd. As you know, it is showing our default directory cd slash cd. We have to log in into our folder. Our folder is cd jdk 1.4 slash bin. Now compiling dispatch.java. It is checking. It is executing. It is checking. Okay. Is that dispatch or any other? Yes, is right. Still it is comparing. Now it is running. Let it run. Why it is taking this much of a time? Executing slow. Let me check any mistakes. Is there any mistake? No mistake, right? If it is having mistake, it will show. It is not having, right? Now I'm running Java dispatch. So it is showing inside S call me method, B call me method, and C calls me method. Okay, that is your first program. And coming here, it is a screenshot. You can't copy. And I'm coming here. Let us take this sample program. Okay, I'm opening a notepad. I'm taking new file. I'm pasting, and I'm coming here and copying. Already I have explained this. Let me copy, paste. I'm coming here and I'm copying, paste. Okay, so how to save this file? Because main method, you have to ensure you are having main method. This is find areas. Okay, I'm copying and going file and I'm saving. While saving, we have to ensure that tag folder find areas.java. Okay, you have to ensure that you are in right folder and you are storing with finds.java. Okay, supposed to confirm it. If you don't confirm, then it will get problem. Yes, I have already stored. I'm coming my command prompt. Already I have opened java c find areas.java. Use processed, no error. Now running find areas. Now it is showing inside the area of rectangle. Area is 45.0, 9 5 is 45, 10 for 10 comma 8 by 2. That is area of triangle, and area of figure is undefined. Okay, Likewise, it will evaluates. So that is the program. And third program, it gives us an error already we have suggested. We don't need it. And here is also final prevents inheritance abstract. The abstract method, if you use the abstract, what happens? It will inherit. I'm copying. I'm taking new file and I'm pasting. So how to save this file? Abstract demo. Okay. I'm copying and I'm saving that. I'm saving in right folder .java and I'm coming here, compile abstract demo.java. No error. I'm running Java abstract demo. Yes, base implementation of call me. This is a concrete method. Clear? Yes, it will be evaluated and call me it is evaluated. Okay. Likewise, abstract is working, and you can also run the same thing if you need it. I'm running the same program, but what will happens? I have declared it as an abstract method, and I'm taking it as a new file, saving, and I'm coming here, take this file, copy, and save, and coming here, copy, and save. Due to the abstract method, you are not creating the object of abstract class. If you create, then it will give an illegal. So if you want to know that, then I am removing here comment. Okay, for our understanding purpose, already abstract areas is there. I am giving it as an abstract areas 1. What is the name of a class? Abstract areas 1, because already my file consists saving, and I'm ensuring in the right path. I'm ensuring and I'm saving .java. Okay, I'm saving. Yes, I'm coming here, compiling. Now Java C, what is abstract areas, right? Abstract areas 1.java. It is processing. It is having error. Got it? It is illegal now. It is showing as an error. That is why if you are using abstract method, then that class should not be create an object. You cannot create an object of that class, abstract classes. Now I'm coming here. Once again I'm compiling. Yes, now I'm running. There is no error. Java abstract areas 1. So it will give the same result as the previous one, as we have learned this. So that's it. This is the programs we have learned from this topic. So in this chapter we have learned uh, inheritance, types of inheritance, constructors, destructors, constructor overloading, method overloading, overriding, abstract keyword, final keyword, and objects of a class. All these are the very important topics. So kindly go through it. If you have any doubts, please ask me in WhatsApp group. Thank you.